Hello lovelies, how are we? Hope everyone's okay. Thank you for all the comments received from yesterday's vlog. Today is Tuesday, by the way. It's Tuesday the 7th. No insight to add on that, apart from the fact it's Tuesday the 7th. And it's sunny, which is good. Yeah, thank you for all the comments from yesterday, particularly your response to the word scurry funging, which I love. Mainly because it sounds like it could be filthy, and that appeals to my very childish sense of humour. There is some debate as to whether it's genuinely an old word, sort of, Middle English or something, or whether it's a new word that has been invented to sound old. I don't know, but it's very useful, probably because it's something I do quite often. So yes, word of yesterday, scurry funging. I feel like I should be doing some spelling competition. S-C-U-R-R-Y-F-U-N-G-E. This is why I never took part in spelling competitions. I've had a question which I have answered in the comments, but I thought I would put it to you guys, because as I was typing out my answer, I thought there must be a more efficient way of doing this. So the question was from Nikki, so thank you, Nikki. She said, I'm knitting a cardigan. I did my tension square. I was fine on the number of stitches across, but not the number of rows. I didn't have enough rows. If I increase the size of my needles, I will have too many stitches. What to do? So I did this long answer saying, firstly, start with the pattern, because if it says to make changes by measurement, increase every inch or something like that, then you can work it accordingly. If it says decrease your sleeves every so many rows, then you need to do some maths, and I gave her some examples. But I'm wondering if anyone has a better way of doing this. I mean, essentially you're doing the same thing, because if it's, decrease every 6th row, then you can work out from the tension in the pattern how much that is in centimetres or inches and work accordingly. So you're doing the same thing. But I wondered if anyone had a sort of super magic formula for this particular problem. I'm doing something similar in the crochet garment that is currently resting, the Lesley, because my row gauge was too short, not enough rows. Too short or too long? I didn't have enough rows, the number was too short. So I'm doing something similar, and I've written down all these kind of extra rows that I'm putting in. But if you have a more efficient or effective way of doing that, I would love to hear it, and I'm pretty sure Nikki would as well. So if you have some thoughts on that, it'd be lovely to hear from you. Thank you. Update on Sister's jacket. The hood is done. I sat down yesterday evening, I said, I am not going to bed until I've done this hood. I don't care if I'm up till midnight. I finished it about 10. So I did a little bit of end weaving, or wendweaving, as I insisted on calling it yesterday. And yeah, so there's some more ends to weave in, and I need to do the front band, which goes all the way around. So it's only 4 rows, but it's a lot of knitting. But I will hopefully start that this evening and then finish it whenever I finish it. Yeah, so I should have time to block it before the weekend. The yarn I'm hoping will dry fairly quickly. I will block it because the cable pattern is understandably pulling in, and I just want to give that a bit of definition. It's predominantly acrylic yarn. I'm looking around for a ball band. I don't have one with me. I think it's 80% acrylic, 20% wool. So it will block a little, just not a massive amount. So yes, hood is done. Just the front band to do, and then a little I-cord for a button hook. Loop. And then we're all good. So work-wise, today, working at home this morning, and I have a ceremony again, same place as yesterday, same time as yesterday. And that is my professional day. Himself has got football. His team is playing at 6 o'clock this evening, so nothing much will be happening in the meantime. But we're all good. Catch up with you later. Here again. Quite a pleasant day, quite bright. Pleasant enough temperature. Obviously word for the day is pleasant. So an aircraft going overhead. I haven't heard one of those for a while. Sounds like a small light aircraft type. It seemed strange on my way here that there appeared to be children coming out of school. They looked quite young children, which would make sense because it's a primary school and they would be the entry year. But it's just such an unfamiliar sight for a few months. And where the school is down a little sort of alleyway. So I should imagine managing people movement through there is interesting. Himself went to a cafe this morning with the dog. He was very happy to do that. It's one that he used to go to quite regularly. It's quite a large building, so it's relatively easy for them to space out the customers and give everyone plenty of room. So the dog was delighted because then she gets little crumbs of cake as well. Well, basically she vacuums the floor for them, whether they want her to or not. Yeah, so that felt like a good thing. He has been climbing the walls a bit because he hasn't really kind of seen people. And yeah, just to have a conversation with someone who wasn't me, I think was a big bonus for him. Very mixed reports on the pubs opening at the weekend. There were cases of some places being overwhelmed and having to close because they couldn't cope with the number of people who wanted to go in. But others, I think, are struggling. Someone I know went to a pub on Sunday for lunch and said it was awful, no atmosphere because of the restrictions in place, all the screens up. It's not the pub experience. So. And also 3 pubs have closed, I saw on the news earlier, because folks that have been in there have now tested positive for the virus. So that's not good. I mean, there was always that risk of that happening and people getting together and passing it around. So perhaps the key is how quickly we prevent it spreading further. Goodness only knows. It was certainly interesting to see how many people yesterday in the ceremony were wearing masks. It's the first time I've seen the majority of people wearing them. It was a largely older congregation, but even so, that hasn't been reflected in other ceremonies, the mask wearing, I mean. So we'll see how we go. Home again. Driving today was interesting. I had a couple of people pull out on me to the point where when I got home I stuck my hazard lights on to make sure that my passenger side indicator was working, because I thought I'm sure I had, you know, flicked the switch. There we go. So yes, that's odd. Obviously it's one of those days. So. And another day it'll be me. I'm not suggesting I'm a perfect driver by any stretch, but when it happens twice, you think, is there something wrong with the car that I don't realise? But we're home safely. Another ceremony completed. And tomorrow is another day. So I shall love you and leave you there, but I hope you're all okay. I hope you've had a reasonable day and managed to do things that you enjoy. And I will see you again tomorrow. Take care, everyone, and thanks so much. Bye-bye.